Hey guys, it's Yvette, and I am going to show you how to put together this large button foundation paper pieced wall hanging. And this is to complement the spool of thread that Stephanie designed, and this was a few weeks ago now, but we have decided that we're going to try to every once in a while get something new designed and share it with you and have a day of sewing. So we are aiming to do this for you know what, I'm not even going to give a date. When we announce it, then you'll know, and then you will be seeing this video. Sorry about that, that's just the cats fighting. Okay, so I put together this little foundation paper pieced pattern, and it is called Cute as a Button, and it is a very giant button. So the way that I designed it was to have some solids in the middle, or for the button, and then the background I put Tula Pink fairy dust. And so that's what I did. Guys, there are no rules. You can do whatever you'd like. You can, okay, seriously? Stop the fighting. It's nothing new, guys, nothing new. And it's no different than having teenagers. I'm convinced. Okay, seriously, you guys, come on. Sorry about that. Okay, so you can put any kind of fabric you'd like. In fact, if you wanted to, for the solid parts, you could always piece together some fabric and make it like a collage. You can, I mean, you know, if you've been paper piecing like for a really long time, then you know exactly what you can do, and I say go for it. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with just making it a solid button as well. Fun things you can do is put, maybe in the background you can make that dark with a pattern, and then the inside button can just be like a solid, or you can have a dark solid back here and then like a really cool print with, you know, either sewing related things, or you can have big flowers, or you can have, I mean, seriously, sky's the limit. So the reason I'm here right now is to show you how your cats give you a heart attack. Okay, so let's start that thought over again. I'm going to show you how to piece these pieces together so that you can then sew them as foundation paper piecing. Okay, so this was just to show you what it's going to look like. This is, now I have 5 rows and 5 pages per row. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, these are the 5 pages for row 1. Okay, take the last page and lay that down, and then you'll take the next to last page, and I've gone ahead and I've made sure that it's labeled with what it is up there. So you'll see that there is a very faint line right here. What you're going to want to do is you are going to take this page, and you're going to, now here's what I do, and let me just show you. This is the best thing you can do. You can see how, like, it's definitely going to stop here. Let me just test it. I want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. I've got cat hair all over the darn place. Okay, so what I'm doing to test is I'm taking the very end of this page and I'm putting it right up against the faint line that is right here, and I'm going to see how all of this lines up. You just want to see the line peek out. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So what's happening is my printer would not print edge to edge. Okay, so it's cut it off right here. So what I'm going to do is you can line your ruler up right to the edge of where it has stopped, and use the lines on your ruler to line up with the bottom of the page so you know that you are keeping it square. And honestly, guys, foundation paper piecing is pretty forgiving. So you can just be, you know, just get it close, you know. I know if you have watched me do this before, you know that, yes, I am pretty meticulous trying to get it where I want it. But honestly, like if I had cut it like there and then I thought it was wrong, I would be fine with it. I would just roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Because life's too short. Okay, so now that I've made that little bitty trim, I'm just going to put it right on top and right with the, and here's the thing, use all of the other lines on the paper to help you. And I know this can be frustrating. This is the worst part, I promise you. And it's going to be so cute when it's done. Okay, so you see how that, okay, that's, is that doing it right? This is the most tedious part, I promise you. Okay, just do your best to, you see how it's lining up? And then I'll just pull that, okay? You know what? That looks good enough if you ask me, okay? So that's where I'm gonna leave mine. Now here's my hint. Use washi tape, because washi tape will not melt whenever you iron on the other side. Okay, if you use Scotch tape, it will melt. You don't want to end up getting any of that on your iron. Don't ask me how I know that. Now just try not to get it over the line you're going to sew on. So I'm just going to put it down like right there, and that's pretty good. And then I'm going to put another piece right here, and that'll hold it together good enough. Now I want to also get, well, I was going to try to get a little piece right there, but I think it'll hold together. If you're having an issue, you can always tape it and then take the tape off whenever you get to that part where you're going to, but you know what? You can also sew right over it. It's just I don't want you to not see where the connection is. But sewing over washi tape is just fine. It's going to perforate it. I have never had my needles gum up, but you know, use, you know, good washi tape and you should be fine. Okay, so I'm just going to, just to hold it together, I'm going to put it on the top above the seam allowance. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. I'm going to take page 3 out, and then I am going to make my cut. I'm going to line up the bottom first, and then I'm going to look and see where the very end of those lines are up there, and right here as well. And let's see, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm just going to cut that little piece off. And again, I'm just going to lay it down and try to be a little fussy with it. The most important thing, guys, is to make sure that these lines are the ones that are matching up. So this one looks perfect. This bottom one needs to move a little bit, so I'm going to scooch that in just a tad bit. Oops. And that looks pretty good. It is not perfect. I'd be the first one to say it is not perfect, but hold on, I think if I scooch it, okay, that, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I'm just going to cut my washi. Okay. And guys, please, if nothing else, please just have fun with this. Don't go crazy. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't start thinking, oh, I can't do this. Mine looks, you know, crazy. No, it doesn't. It's fine. It's very forgiving, and it's your button, and I promise it's going to be fun if you just, you know, relax a little bit, give yourself a little grace, don't worry so much, and Everything's going to be fine. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's move down, and I'm going to take page 2. Let's scooch that over just a bit while I'm cutting. And I'm going to trim on the right. Now, if your printer is printing all the way to the edge, perfect, okay? You may not have to do this, but it also might be a limitation of my designing. So that could be something that I did in the writing of the pattern. So you could just blame it on me. It's okay. I'm good with that. Okay, now we're going to, let's pull this back a little bit and lay this one down. I wonder if I'm supposed to go out a little bit. Because it almost looked like that. Like if I went out a little bit. Okay, that's good enough. That's good. I'm fine. I don't want to mess with it too much. I just don't feel like it. That's me. I just don't wanna. Alright. Let's do this part. Alright, and I'm going to do one corgi for right here. And I could probably do like 3 corgis. If you guys like this little corgi washi tape, I am selling it in my shop. It's just a FYI. You don't have to buy any. I'm just saying that I get comments all the time about what's that you're using? Oh, that's so cute. And I don't want to not tell you that it's there. So I don't have a whole lot of it, I don't think, but I do have a few. Okay. And now one more. So now I'm going to take page 1, do the same thing. Last one for this row. Yeah, I think that I'm having to pull the page over just a little bit from the line that's drawn, just so that it makes it even. So maybe try doing that. Just pull it a little bit away from the line, because it's making this line perfectly straight and that one and that one. So I would worry about these lines connecting more than matching up with this line here. This is just like a guide. It's just guiding you on where to put stuff. Because this one was so large, it was just a little bit different to put together. Okay, and do this guy. I'll put a little one right here. Could probably put 2 corgis. And just a little guy on the top. Okay. So now I want to get into page 2, or row 2, sorry, because I want to show you how they're going to come together, right? Because you're going to have more than one row and long like this. Okay, so let's get that done first. Okay. So again, I am going to start from the last page. If I can get them to come apart. Okay, so row 2, page 5, and row 2, page 4. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Let's take page 4, and I'm going to trim that edge off. And I want to tell you that the reason I'm trimming this off, because that may be a question that you guys have. The reason I'm doing that is because it's much easier. If I'm right along the edge of where the line ends, it's much easier for me to get it exactly where it's supposed to be, because you want these lines to be touching. And if you have that little white piece, it's just very confusing. You could get it a little bit off. It's so much easier if you just take a little bit of time and trim that off. And you will only have to do something like this whenever you have a very large pattern like this, where the pieces are actually taking up more than 1, 2, or 3 pages, or that kind of thing. Okay, so now I'm going to put these together. And the most important part is these lines that are not straight across, right? Because those are the ones where you're making a connection. So you want to make sure those are definitely where they need to be. The others will sort of just fall in place. Okay, that looks good. I might have cut a little bit too much corgi. Not sure. Whoop. And the thing about washi tape also is very forgiving. It might stick to itself, but it'll come apart real easy too. So that's a really good thing. I think I'm going to try to put one little corgi right there. And if you overlap it, see, you could still see through the washi a little bit. It'll be okay. And let's see. I'm going to put 2 little corgis right here. And 2 little corgis on the bottom, I think. Okay. Now, let's add page 3. Okay, now on this one, it seems like this piece right here, which is part of the button, I think that's part of the button. Well, most of it is part of the button. Who are we kidding? But this is like part of the button, and so the whole thing is on there. So I'm really just looking at these lines right here that I want to match up to, these 2 sets of lines. Okay. I think I need a sip of coffee. This is like a workout right here. Okay. So now, same thing, except now all I'm really worried about is these lines here. So I will just do that. And you'll see that when we start to put them on top of each other, the washi tape is good also because we may have to make like some adjustments. this kind of pattern is like, it's going to be striking when you're done, but you're going to put some work into it. I mean, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This is going to be, you know, there might be a little bit of fighting. Gosh, it's going to be so worth it though. It's sort of like, you seen those, I am in no way comparing my little button here to Violet Crafts Awesome Sauce patterns, but you know, she'll have those her patterns where she's got like that the giant elephant, which I just bought some of those patterns and I'm gonna put them in my shop. So if y'all want to do any of that, but I mean, it's just I don't think I want to fight with a big old piece. I'm just gonna do a little and a little. But it's sort of like that, where it's you know, maybe there's a bit of struggle in some points, but have you seen the finished product? I mean, for goodness sakes, it's gorgeous. I mean, I can't wait to make one. I want to someday make one of those. I just have to find the time to be able to do it, but they're gorgeous. So it's really worth it. Okay, let's take page 2 and let's do this cut. Alright, and I'm going to attach those. And I do have this one little piece right here that can help me to make it straight. Oop, goes out a little bit more. I try to be really conscious of you guys having to stare at the top of my head. Let me do a little 2 corgi right here first. And I could probably do I think I'm gonna do a 1 corgi down there because I got that little corner. This is probably a good time for me to sort of talk about washi tape. You know how many times I get asked what washi tape is and what it's used for, and you know, everybody has a different thing that they want to do with their washi, and there's like, to me, it's like sky's the limit. I've seen people decoupaging with washi tape, and just it's so versatile. In my opinion, if you're a crafty person, believe me, you're gonna have a million and one reasons to use washi tape. Once you start using it, you find reasons to use it everywhere. And why use, you know, just regular old Scotch tape whenever you're a crafty person? I don't know. I don't anymore. I mean, I use it if I, you know, for certain things. Because washi's not suitable for everything. But I don't know. If I can use washi, that's what I'm using. Okay. I'm just going to line all of this up. Doo-doo-doo. I feel like, oh, maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. I'm putting it kind of sideways. Am I? Does that go like that? Oh, no. Why am I trying to be so perfect? Y'all know how I am, right? Oh, that's way off because I'm doing it wrong. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think that's where it goes. Right there. Yep. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm gonna just say it on my own. That's perfect. Alright, I'll put 2 corgis right here first. And I think you could put 2 corgis on the bottom. And let's just put 3, I think. Tree corgis. Oh, that went crooked. See how easy it comes off, and it'll stick just as good. All right, there we go. Okay, so here's where stuff starts getting fun. Not. All right, so we have row 2. And here is row 1. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is we really need to trim the bottom of row 1. Now, I know you're saying, oh, why didn't we just do that from the beginning? You could do it from the beginning. Honestly, you know, if you think that that is best, you go ahead. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take row 1. And I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Move some of these things out of the way. I'm going to lay it down. Now, if you're left-handed, turn this the other way, right? Because then you'll want to measure here and then cut like this, right? So I'm turning it this way because I'm right-handed. Okay. Now I am going to take my ruler. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to have to do it in little pieces. And you see, the thing is that, like, let's say when you were at, like, this page, there is nothing to guide you. Here, the only thing I have to guide me are, like, these pieces right here. And so, honestly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of wing it in the middle. I'm going to take the piece that I'm going to cut off, and I'm just going to sort of eyeball it. And really, that's the best you can do. So I'm going to start like this. Again, I just want to make sure that I'm keeping it even on the bottom here, because that's a line on the ruler and on the paper that you know is straight. And then I'm going to look and see where I'm going to cut, and I think I'm pretty good, like right there. So I'm going to trim that. Guys, yes, you want to measure twice, cut once, but it's very forgiving. So just, you know, don't go too crazy. All right, so now I'm going to just pull it down. It's stuck to my coffee. And you can also see, like, that little faint line. You can sort of see the bottom of that. So I'm going to use that a little bit too. But I left this little bitty piece right here, so I can sort of use that. I'm going to put my ruler right up against there, and I'm going to move it so that the whole thing looks like it's right where it needs to be. And I can't stress enough, foundation paper piecing is pretty darn forgiving with this kind of thing. I mean, you don't want to, like, go all nuts and get it completely off, but it's pretty forgiving. All right, pull this down. And now we're going to start getting these lines here again, so that'll help us. And I'm going to put my ruler right up against where I can see that cut was. And with that being there, I just kind of look up here at these lines, see where they're ending. And let's see where to go. There he is. I think that's pretty good right there. I'll just leave that. And last cut. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Let me get this. Get it out of the way. All right. So now the row 1 is going to go on top of row 2. So I'm going to scooch this up for just a sec while I grab my row 2. Okay, And I'm just going to pull this down a little, and I'll start this way. Now, because this is where I film, and this is also where I have like a gigantic mess, you know, I do have to, I don't have as much room as I would if I were elsewhere. So try to find yourself a nice spot where you've got plenty of room, not like me. Okay, where's the washi tape? I have to have it first so that I don't, what do I do with the washi tape? Are you kidding me? Oh, there it is. Okay. Washi tape, scissors are over there. Okay, we're good. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it down here. And if you have more room, like I said, you will not have to fight with it as much as I do. Okay. So now I'm going to make sure that the left side of my paper is lined up as best I can. And I'm going to make sure that our lines are coming down and looking pretty straight. They don't have to be perfect. And I can see that these little faint lines are matching up pretty good too. It looks pretty good. Oh, that doesn't look good over there. What's going on? Okay, I got it. How's it look now? Okay. Nope, I moved it. See, that don't look right. Now I have to tell y'all, I am a perfectionist. I would be the first person that I would be yelling at to just stop being so crazed about it. Seriously, I'd be the first one I'm yelling at. But if you find yourself starting to get hot under the collar, maybe take a breather. Because just remember, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. I'm just going to cut myself a little piece of corgi, just so I can get it so it stops moving around. Make sure I'm still happy with it. I'm sure I'm not going to be happy with it later, because that's just the nature of me. How's that? That's looking like it's crazy, that's what. Okay, wait, hold up. Okay, look at that. Oh my goodness. Right there. Okay, let's get another piece of tape, quick. All right, I'm gonna go this way a little bit first. And then I'm gonna cut a piece for over here. Lay this one down. See, even if that happened with Scotch tape, you'd be almost all done. But it'll come right apart. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. I guarantee, if it's perfect, then there's something wrong, because we're all human and it shouldn't be perfect. I would love for it to be perfect, but I'm telling you, it's never going to be perfect. So just get it on there. I'm going to put a little piece over here just so he stop flapping around. Two little corgis will be enough. All right, now I'm going to slide this down a little. You hopefully will be able to just, let me move my M&Ms out of the way. That might help. Y'all just know too much about me. I'm telling you, you just do. I'm just glad you can't see this mess over here. And that's because I choose to hide it from you. That's why you don't see it. I'm real good at hiding it. Okay. It'll probably make it like a little bit floppy, but that's okay. Just sort of like eyeball where everything's going. See how this is kind of going sideways? So I am going to force it up, because you don't have to move it a lot. It's just a little bit, like, let's see, a little bit more, I think. Because like I said, these are the most important parts, and that's close enough. I mean, seriously. So I'm just gonna put a couple of corgis right there. I'm so glad I pulled this washi tape out, because I love saying, let's use 3 corgis. And if you notice that I don't like to cut a corgi, like, there's no way on earth I would ever cut a corgi. I'm just telling you. I'm going to use a piece of tape that's going to have, like, the whole corgi. I'm not going to cut them in half or anything. That's just, no, that's wrong. I would never do that. Cut a corgi. Who would do that? Okay, let's put a big old piece here. Boop. That'll hold that good. I'm gonna put another like maybe 3 corgis right here. And then I'll scooch it down just a little bit more. And that is, look guys, that is fine. Because when you're going to sew your line, I mean, you just kind of, you know, kind of give it a little eyeball. As long as you keep going in a straight line, you are golden. Don't do this. Like you're going to be sewing down, oh, it moved over like 1/28 of an inch. Don't do that. Just keep it straight. If you end up on the other side of that line, just keep it on the other side of that line. And it's fine. It's fine. It's going to be fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. You know what? I think that's a little too corgi spot. I've pulled a lot out. Let's see. I'm going to I'm just going to kind of pull it where I want it. Pull it, but don't like make it nuts. This is okay. You can hold this. This will be fine. I'm going to put 2 little corgis right here. And then I could probably fit like 3 corgis right there. Okay. And then I'll put like 3 corgis on the end there to hold it. And then I might just take a corgi. Nope, I'm not going to do it because you're going to be sewing right there. So this is going to be a little awkward, but guys, it'll be fine. It's going to be fine. I might put one corgi right there. Just because to keep it from flapping a little bit. All right, one little corgi help us out. Okay, so you should be able to finish the rest, okay? Because I have shown you how to put a row together, and then I've showed you how to put the 2 rows together. Here's what you'll be doing after that. This right here, this is one piece that you're going to be working on. So this right here is your seam allowance line. So you will be cutting this either on the seam allowance line, or you can always cut just to the outside of it. That way you can see it whenever you're sewing your pieces, right? And so you just want to cut those pieces. And I do highly suggest that you have all of this prep ready whenever we're going to sew. That way you can just get to sewing. You'll have all of the crazy part done, right? If you have any questions whatsoever, please guys, just send me an email. And I'll be happy to do the best I can to help you. I want everyone to have a great experience doing this. And I think it's going to be like so adorable. And one sec. Just a reminder that this was my spool. And you can either use something to complement your spool, or you can make it match. You can put something completely different. You can do whatever you'd like. But I really wanted something that would be pretty similar in size to what we did with the spool. So I'm not sure if it's going to come out exactly like the exact same size, but this can be like a couple of things you can hang in your sewing space that just can make you smile when you walk in, and everybody will know this my sewing space. And I will be finishing this, as soon as I can. I can't wait because I want to hang it up, and I think it came out gorgeous. I'm so happy with the pattern that Steph wrote, and I hope we're going to be equally as happy with the button, and I hope to see all you guys whenever we're sewing. So come on back, join us for a day of sewing. We'll let you know when it is, and then we'll have this video posted along with the pattern, which is free. And I can't wait to do this with you guys. So thanks for the interest, and be strong. It's gonna be okay. I swear it's gonna be just fine. Have a cup of coffee, have a glass of wine, whatever it is that makes you zen, and let's get ready to sew.